Here's a quick demo of what this lab will look like. So again, this is transfer number 0, 10 reactants, 0 products. So for every single transfer round, I go half of this stuff. So right now if I have 10, I'm going to transfer 5 of them because that's half of them. Okay. And then before I count, I'm going to take my products and take a quarter of them back. So right now I have 5. So a quarter of 5 is just 1, but 1 and a bit. So we always round up. So we're going to transfer 2 back. So my first round transfer numbers would be 7 reactants and 3 products. Okay. Now I'd be going on to round 2. So round 2, I have 7 over there. I go half, but I always round up. So I'm going to transfer 4 over. And now over here, I have 7. And again, I'm going to transfer quarter back. So that's essentially 2 if I pretend like there were 8. So I'm going to go 2 back. And so the next thing I'd write down is 5 and 5. Okay, that would be round 2. Now round 3, I go half of 5, which is 3. Okay, so 3 forward. And now I have 8 over there. So now I transfer 2 back. And my next count would be 4 and 6. Okay, so essentially you'd keep doing that. So now I have 4 on this side. I'd go half and then go a quarter. And I keep doing that until I find that I have about 3 or 4 transfers where I'm literally transferring like the same exact number. Like in this case, I just transferred 2 forward for 8. And so a quarter of 8 would be 2 back. And now my next round, I do the same thing, 2 forward, 2 back, 2 forward, 2 back. So once you go through 3 or 4 rounds where you're transferring the same number of items backwards and forwards, you've reached equilibrium and that experiment is over. Okay, so that's your first trial. Your second trial, you'll set up the same, except it'll be the same type of concept, except you're gonna put all 10 of them as products now instead of reactants. And so you'll do the same thing, which is step 1, you'll go half of the reactants forward. You have no reactants. So a quarter of the products back. So right now I have 10. Quarter of 10 is that 8 and a bit, is like 2 and a bit. So we'll go for 3. And so my first round, I have 3 and 7. Now I do it like normal. My second round, I go half of 3, which would be 2 because I round up. So now I go a quarter of 9, which would be 3. Okay, so your second round, you're just starting with all of them as product instead of any of them as reactant, but you still do the same thing, which is a half of the reactants become products, but a quarter of the products go back. Okay, that'll get you your numbers that you need. Now, the difference between what I did in this demo and what you will do for your lab is you will use 50 pennies. If you want to use more, if you're like, man, I am pumped about this. This sounds amazing. I want to use 100 Skittles. Go for it. It does not affect the final results. It'll just take a little longer. So minimum of 50, but you can go max to whatever. If you do like 1,000, I will be terrified.